Hello students, today we are here to learn second chapter of science class 10, that is acid, base and salt. In previous videos we have learned about the first chapter, right? Now today we are going to learn second chapter, right? So what it is acid, bases and salts. So first we will discuss some general basic properties of acids and bases which we have seen in earlier classes, right? So we'll discuss some general things about acids and base first. So here I have written these acids and bases. We'll study comparatively. See, acids are sour in taste. They are sour in taste. It means खट्टे जो लगते हैं. These are sour in taste. While bases are bitter in taste. कड़वे लगते हैं ये. Okay. Acid turns blue litmus into red. Have you performed this activity in lower classes? Litmus paper activity. When blue litmus paper comes in contact with acid, it turns blue litmus into red, while bases turn red litmus into blue color. What acids do? They give hydrogen ion in aqueous solution. Means when acids are mixed up in aqueous solution, or you may say when acid is present in an water containing solution, then they releases hydrogen ions. While when these bases are present in aqueous solution, they will give hydroxyl ion, that is OH negative ion. Acids corrode metal. When acid come in contact with an metal, what it does? It corrodes the metal. That means it weakens the metal, or you may say it may be get rusted. Okay. And bases are soapy in touch, slippery and soapy in touch. Now we will see some examples. What are examples of strong acids? Strong acids are hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid. Hydrochloric acid, that is HCl, and sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4. Now weak acids, oxalic acid, citric acid, tartaric acid. Citric acid, which is present in lemon, tartaric acid, which is present in tamarind. Now we will see two more terms, that are concentrate and dilute acid. What are concentrate acid? Concentrate acids are those acids which have more amount of acid in them while less amount of water. Okay. And dilute acid, these are those acids which have more water amount in them and less acid content. Now here examples of strong bases are NaOH, then that is sodium hydroxide, KOH, potassium hydroxide, CaOH whole twice, that is calcium hydroxide. Okay. Weak bases are NH4OH, ammonium hydroxide. Okay. Here it is a term alkali. What is alkali? Alkali is, these are bases which are soluble in water. Bases which are completely get soluble in water are known as alkali. So these are the general properties which we have discussed yet. Now we are going to learn few more properties about acids and bases. Now, if we have provided with some substances and we have to identify whether these are acids or base, what you will do? If we are present at home and in kitchen we have given some substances and now we have to identify them, that which substance is what. So what is the basic process we will do? We will just taste it, right? While by tasting we can identify which substance is what. So but in chemistry it is harmful to taste some substances, right? Because they are chemical compounds and they will cause harm to us if we directly taste them. So if we have to identify them, how we will identify it? So we have some substances through which we can identify substances like acids and base, or we may say that we can differentiate between acids and base with some substances, and these substances are known as indicators. Okay, so we are going to learn about indicators now. What are indicators? Indicators are the substances which changes their color and smell in different types of substances or with different types of substances, right? These are the substances which changes their color or smell, or you may say odor, with different types of substances. Now we have here three types of indicators. One is natural indicator, second is synthetic indicator, and third is olfactory indicator. First we'll see about natural indicator. What are these natural indicators? These are the indicators which we obtain from plants, or by natural process we obtain this from, right? So some natural indicators are, examples of natural indicators are litmus and turmeric. You have seen litmus paper, right? And turmeric. Turmeric is present in homes, so it is also an indicator. So how they will react, how they will show difference when they react with acid and base, we'll see here. When litmus reacts with acid, when blue litmus paper reacts or comes in contact with acid, it turns blue litmus into red. While when a litmus paper comes in contact with base, it turns red litmus into blue. Okay. Now turmeric. Turmeric already have some color, right? It is yellow in color. So when it reacts with acid, it does not show any color. It just simply show its original color, that is yellow. And when this turmeric reacts with base, then it turns red in color. Have you seen if you have one handkerchief and you have means some oil or something is there on that hanky, and you have to wash it with that, what you apply if it is a stain of turmeric, right? Turmeric oil is a stain. Then if you apply a soap is what? Soap is a base. So when you apply a soap over that stain, what will happen? That yellow stain directly gets converted into red. So what it represents? It represents that turmeric or base converts turmeric into red color. Means turmeric here is used as an indicator. So this indicator shows the presence of base there, and the color changes from yellow to red. Okay. Now second types of indicators are synthetic indicators. These are the indicators which we synthesize in laboratory, or chemically we prepare them. So examples are methylene orange and phenolphthalein. See, methylene orange. What methylene orange do when it reacts with acid? When it reacts with acid, it turns it red. Methylene orange converts the solution into red color. While when we react it with base, it converts it into yellow color. Now phenolphthalein. You have did experiments with phenolphthalein? If not, we'll do this, perform this, okay. Phenolphthalein, when reacts with acid, it turns the solution colorless. The solution of acid is colorless, but if we are adding phenolphthalein, there is no change, the mixture will be still colorless. But when this phenolphthalein we add into base, what will happen? This phenolphthalein or this whole solution will give a dark pink color. That is, it shows the presence of base in that. Okay. So when phenolphthalein reacts with base, it will convert the solution into dark pink color. Now third type of indicators are olfactory indicators. Olfactory indicators, by name we can see that olfactory means what? Smell, odor. So due to this, on the basis of smell, we have some indicators which differentiate between acids and base. So what are these? These are vanilla essence and clove oil. Vanilla essence, have you heard about this? We use this vanilla essence in cakes and baking industry. While clove oil, long ka tel, right? So we'll see the reactions with acid and base here. vanilla essence. When vanilla essence is added with acid, the smell of vanilla increases. The odor is so increased, and when this vanilla essence is reacted with base, the smell of vanilla decreases, or you may say no smell of vanilla is present. In second condition, clove oil, when here also clove oil reacts with acid, the smell of clove increases rapidly, while when clove oil reacts with base, the smell or the odor of clove decreases, or you may say here too that no smell is present. So, is it clear how these indicator works in differentiating between acids and base, right? Now here we are going to learn about the chemical properties of acids and bases. First property is when these when these acids and base do reactions with metals, right? So first we'll see about acids. When acid reacts with metal, it produces salt and hydrogen is released, right? See one example here, acid, example of acid HCl, hydrochloric acid. When reacts with zinc, zinc is a metal, it produces a salt, that is zinc chloride, plus this hydrogen gas is released, right? See here what is going on here. This Zn displaces Cl from this HCl, right? Zn means zinc is displacing this chloride from this HCl solution. So here salt is producing, and the name of this salt is what? Zinc chloride. So here when it is displacing, this chlorine is displaced by Zn from HCl. So here displacement is taking on and going on, and thus this reaction is also said to be displacement reaction. Means all displacement, in all displacement reaction, what is happening? Acid in reactions, in these kinds of reaction, when acid is reacting with metal, salt and hydrogen is forms, and a kind of displacement reaction will takes place. What will happen here? Displacement reaction will happen, right? So this we talked about acid. Now we'll speak about bases. What will happen with bases? When base reacts with metal, it produces salt and hydrogen again. But which kind of salts here we are going to learn. So we have taken an example, base. Base that is sodium hydroxide. When reacts with metal, that is same zinc we have taken, it forms Na2ZnO2, that is sodium zincate. What is the name of this compound? Sodium zincate, that is Na2ZnO2 plus H2 here is also evolved, right? So here what is forming here also? Base when reacts with metal, it is producing a salt and hydrogen is released. So in both the cases hydrogen is released. Now when we are doing reactions, how we'll know, or how we will get that presence of hydrogen, or hydrogen is present, or hydrogen is releasing out, how we will understand this? So to know how hydrogen is releasing out, we will test the presence of hydrogen. How? Let us see here. For testing the presence of hydrogen, what we will do? We will take a stand, test tube stand. Then what we will do? We will attach a test tube into that, and we will pass a pipe from this to a beaker, in which in beaker what we have taken, in beaker here we have taken a soapy solution. So what will happen here? What we are going to do? See here what is happening here. When acid is reacting with metal, here we have taken a metal inside the test tube, right? So when metal reacts with acid, acid or base, what is happening? Hydrogen is evolving and salt is produced. So when this hydrogen is produced inside this test tube, what is happening here? From this pipe, it is going inside this beaker where we have taken a water full of soap. So when this hydrogen gas reacts, when comes inside this soapy water, what happens? The bubbles get formed. Bubbles will form, and these bubbles when come outside upper side, what we will do, we will take one burning candle and we will bring the candle near the gas bubble. So what will happen? A pop sound will arise, and that pop sound will indicates the presence of hydrogen, right? So this pop sound indicates the presence of hydrogen, and in this way we can show that hydrogen is evolving when acid or bases are reacting with metals, right? So this is the first property when acids and bases are reacting with metals. Now here we are going to learn about the second property, that is reaction with metal carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates. So first we will see what are metal carbonates. Metal carbonates, carbonates means CO3, right? CO3 is what? It is carbonate. So when acid reacts with metal carbonates or metal hydrogen carbonates, what it forms? It forms salt, releases carbon dioxide and water, right? When acid reacts with metal carbonates or metal hydrogen carbonates, it produces salt and carbon dioxide is released and H2O is also formed with it. So we'll see one example here. When this acid HCl reacts with metal carbonate, that is sodium bicarbonate here. Here we have taken sodium bicarbonate. When HCl reacts with sodium bicarbonate, it produces salt. Which salt it produces? It produces sodium chloride and releases CO2 and one molecule of H2O, right? Now we will see example with metal hydrogen carbonate. With metal hydrogen carbonate, what will happen? When this HCl react with metal hydrogen carbonate, sodium hydrogen carbonate, it will form salt again, NaCl, CO2 is released and one molecule of H2O will also form. So this is the reaction of metal carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates with acid. Now bases. Bases do not react with metal carbonates or metal hydrogen carbonates, right? Bases do not react with metal carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates, as carbonates are basic in nature. So how they will react, right? So now here also we have to test the presence of CO2. How we will test the presence of CO2 here? What we will do? We will pass the solution. We will pass this whole with lime water. Lime water is what? Calcium hydroxide. When we will pass this calcium hydroxide with that CO2 with calcium hydroxide, what will form? Calcium carbonate will form and water is also released here. So calcium hydroxide, lime water is colorless in color. How we will see the presence of carbon dioxide? So here calcium hydroxide is colorless in color. When this CO2 reacts with calcium hydroxide, calcium carbonate is formed and water is released. So this calcium carbonate is what? Milky in color, means when this calcium carbonate is formed, a milky white solution will appear, as here calcium hydroxide is colorless. When it reacts with this carbon dioxide, it will be turned into milky white solution. So this milky white solution shows the presence of carbon dioxide into this, okay? So, and when excess of CO2 is passed, that calcium carbonate when reacts with excess of carbon dioxide and water, it will form calcium hydrogen carbonate, okay? what it will form? It will form calcium hydrogen carbonate. When this calcium carbonate reacts with excess of CO2 and water, where I should write? See here, when this calcium carbonate reacts with excess amount of CO2, what it will form? It will form calcium hydrogen carbonate. This is what? This is colorless in color. So at one point calcium carbonate is formed, which is milky white in color, and after some time when the presence of carbon dioxide will be more, then this calcium hydrogen carbonate is formed, which is colorless in color. So is it clear? Now we will learn about the next property, that is when acids and bases reacts with each other. Okay. Now here we are going to learn about the third property, that is reaction of acid and base with each other. What happens when acid and base reacts with each other? When acid and base reacts with each other, they form salt and water, releases water. See here an example, HCl, hydrochloric acid, when reacts with NaOH, sodium hydroxide, it forms NaCl, that is sodium chloride, and H2O is released, right? So here what is happening? The acid and base both are neutralizing the effect of each other, and they are forming a salt and releasing water. So these type of reactions in which both are compensating the effect of each other are known as neutralizing reactions. See, what is neutralization reaction? When an acid and base reacts to form water and salt is called a neutralization reaction. It involves hydrogen ion and OH ion to generate water. H plus ion and hydroxyl ion both are required for production of water here. So here H plus ion we will get from acid, and hydroxyl ion we will get this from base. So when both this combine, when acid and base both combines to each other, they will form a salt and releases water. Now we'll see the fourth reaction, that is reaction of acids and base with metallic oxides and non-metallic oxides. Now here the next property is reaction of acid with metallic oxides and reactions of bases with non-metallic oxide. First we'll see what are these metallic oxide. Metal when is combined with oxygen is known as metallic oxide. Generally these metallic oxides are basic in nature. These are what? These are basic in nature, right? So examples we can see here: calcium oxide, magnesium oxide. These are what? Metal oxide. Calcium is a metal, oxide of it is calcium oxide, magnesium oxide, right? So when acid reacts with metal oxide, it produces salt and water. We'll see one example here. When acid reacts with this hydrochloric acid reacts with calcium oxide, it will form calcium carbonate and water. Sorry, calcium chloride plus water. What it will produce? When this hydrochloric acid reacts with calcium oxide, it will form calcium chloride and water. Calcium chloride is what here? It is a salt and water is released. See, it is similar as the reaction of acid and base, right? It is also forming the products as the neutralization reaction is forming. When acid is reacting with metallic oxide, it is forming salt and water. So from this we can conclude that metallic oxides are basic in nature. That's why when this acid and metallic oxide, which is basic in nature, reacting with each other, they are producing salt and water, right? So as metallic oxides are basic in nature, that's why base cannot react with these metallic oxides, right? So base will react with non-metallic oxides. So we'll see here the reactions of bases with non-metallic oxides. Base, when react with non-metallic oxides, it also forms salt and water. Okay, first we'll see the non-metallic oxide. What are these non-metallic oxide? Non-metals, carbon you may say, right? So this is a non-metal. So when base, that is calcium hydroxide, reacts with non-metallic oxide, oxide of non-carbon, that is carbon dioxide. When calcium hydroxide reacts with carbon dioxide, it will form calcium carbonate and water. So calcium carbonate here is a salt and water is released. So it is also similar to the neutralization reaction you may say, or you have seen when we have seen the reaction of testing of carbon dioxide. So here also we are doing the same, right? So from this we can conclude here that non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. These non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. That's why when these non-metallic oxides which are acidic in nature, they are reacting with the base, they are forming salt and water, right? So till now we have seen the properties of acids and bases. These are the properties where we have seen that how acids and base react with show the results when they react with different substances. So in this video we'll we have seen all these reactions. In next video we'll learn about pH and about the salt which is produced during all these reactions, right? So till now we have completed all these chemical properties of acids and bases. You can ask any doubt whatever you have, just go through your NCERTs and read the lesson twice and ask your doubts, right? So keep learning and start preparing for your exams. Thank you and have a nice day.